think I'm live, ain't I? Yes, I am. Hey, there's no guest today, so um, click this button here. I think hold on, what happened here? Okay, okay. Is it broadcasting over here yet? Okay, there it is, up there. Turn this down. All right. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Before I get started, let me do this for those that just joining in, and for those who watch on the repeat. Um, Great morning. It's up my ear. All right. Hold on. Before I get started, let me show this thing here. All right. Hold we go here. Hold. Great morning, great morning, great morning. What's happening, y'all? So gloomy. How's the weather? I ain't been outside really today. Yeah, it's just still out there. Still out there. All right. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Listen, I'm gonna be brief today. Probably like normal, half hour in and out. Um, talk about different things here. Today's topic is a little bit different than I usually do. Oh, where's that thing? I put this thing up here, and I'm doing a little something. Somebody told me I should do this, so because I've been needing help doing things, and they said this is a good way to do it. Get some assistance for people. So I'm gonna put this thing. It's gonna run across the bottom down here if I can find the thing. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. If I can find it, here we go. I'm gonna put this thing down here. All right, I'm gonna leave that up throughout the show. What I need to get kids places. I need to do some things different. So if you want to help me out here in what kind of way you can donate or gift, not donate because it's not tax deductible. You can gift me whatever you want to gift, and it's going to be used for helping me get kids transport to different projects and programs I want to do and things like that right there. All right, that's it. That's that. So I'm gonna leave that there, and that's what you can do, and I appreciate any help you give me. All right, now let me move on. Today's topic. Today's topic. I just want to put it out there. I want to have a conversation about where we just in the chat if you can, now or on repeat, whatever, in the chat. Put it in the chat if you agree or that we should do something different, or if you got ideas, put it in there. Or you want clarification, because I'm gonna bring up some topics. I'll bring up a few topics today. I'm gonna talk about them and say, listen, this is the issue. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm seeing. I'm not an expert on none of this. Okay, first and foremost, I'm not an expert on none of it. But what I'm going to do is put some things that I'm seeing and hearing and things that's coming up that I'm encountering in my work. I'm gonna ask your opinion. What do we do? Is it this or is it that? All right. So before I go into all that, I gotta ask you a question because we got to do this. We got to remind each other, y'all. We got to remind each other all the time of school stuff that's going on and make sure we take care of what we got to take care of with our young people. All right. Have you contacted your school? Have you contacted your school? You talked to somebody at your school about your child. If you have not, this far in the school, if you ain't talked to nobody at the school yet about how your child is doing, I'm gonna ask you why. That's the first thing I need to know is why haven't you done that yet? This is this is your child, and there's a lot of things going on out there today. So you should check the school, see how your child is doing. Don't just sit back and wait for somebody to tell you because when they tell you, it's usually let you know what has happened. And then they talk about what we need to do in the future on this end, but what you need to do is to talk about what we're going to do right now in real time. So talk to your school, call your school guidance counselor. Like I said, talk to the guidance counselor. That person that's the person who can take all the other things that's going on with your child in the school, and they can answer. They should be able to answer all those questions for you, or get the answers for you if they don't have them. All right. So call a guidance counselor. If there's issues with behaviors that you're concerned about, I don't care if it's issues of behavior that other kids are doing. You may be worried about is your child being bullied or whatever, or is your child or eating good, or is it attending classes or skipping classes or whatever, or just may not be dressing correctly or whatever may be going on. Ask the vice principal. Reach out to the vice principal. All right, reach out to your vice principal. And then if you can't get any place, if you still got questions, go to the principal. And if you're still stuck, then go to school to the school superintendent, talk to the superintendent. And then if you're still stuck, then you go to the school board and you bring your issue up. And then after that, you just take it to the court of public opinion. That's what we do. All right, but make sure you check in with your kid, with your school, and find out. And do you have your folder, your binder? All right, do you have your material? Because if you don't, when you go see them or you talk to somebody, they're gonna say, okay, so what's the issue? What have you done? They're gonna have theirs. You can believe that. They're gonna have their folder. They're gonna have all the paperwork in it. They're gonna have the whole thing. And they're gonna go back with your child since he or her has been going to school if they need to. All right, and you'll be sitting there looking like, well, I think what happened was when we was over in this school, this happened, and such what you call it did that. No, 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 no. Get your documents together, y'all. Get your stuff together. All right. With that being said, that's that part of it. All right. Again, let me hold on. Let me get my screen over here. I got this thing all going crazy here. Let me make this thing so I can show you this thing one more time, y'all. I gotta show you this thing one more time. All right. I'm gonna show you one more time. Where to go? 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 Show you one more time. All right. All right. Cool. I hope y'all read that. William, see it again. All right. There you go. Good enough. All right. Now, the topic at hand. The topic at hand. There's a lot of stuff going on in our community, and there's a lot of opinions, and there's a lot of everything that people are looking at like, you know what, I think we should do this. I should think we should stop doing that. There's this problem, that problem, so forth and so on. And people get damn confused. I know I get confused, and I follow this stuff religiously, and I study this stuff, and I get confused about what the heck are people talking about. So the first topic I'm gonna bring up, and I want you in the chats, if you're watching this, put it in the chat whenever you watch it. All right, put it in the chat now because I'm gonna be checking in, and I'll address some of your things if I can, in another post or even on the comment. First thing I want to bring up. All right, do you think now this is I'm not talking about do I think it's right or wrong, any of that kind of stuff. I'm just going straight to the point. Crime. You hear about crime. All right, we hear about crime in our community. Is the issue that new crime is happening and crime is rising, or is the issue that there's just more crime? All right, is it that crime is rising, or is it that there's more crime? And here's what I mean here's what I mean when I ask that question. All right, seriously, crime has been it's been some cities and some places have been violent for a long time. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Some go up, some go down, some go up, some go down. Some just keep rising. And the only thing changes is the speed of the rise. Some go slow and some go fast. But that's the only thing changes is the speed. But crime has been going crazy. So is the issue new crime? Because at the same time, crime is on the rise. All right. A lot of people saying no, crime is not, but no, it's all in how you measure. Data is a funny thing. It's where you get the information from. If you want to know is about violent crime, you want to know if murders on the rise, you probably go to the police department and arrest to get your data. If you want to know if a homicide or any of those particular types of crimes, you'll go to either the coroner's office or the district attorney's office to get your information, and that's going to determine what they're talking about. Is it rising crime, rising murder, rising this, and so forth. So the data and the statistics is crazy and hard to understand. So, do you think that crime is on the rise, or do you believe that it's just more crime? And put your answer in the chat. And I want to know what people think about that. And I don't care how long you take doing it. You write a paragraph, but all I want you not to do is come at anybody. Because the first comment I see that somebody's trying to attack what somebody said, I'm just going to delete that comment. Period. I'm not even gonna let you continue to talk like that. Everybody has their right and their opinions and their views, and I don't care what it is. You can put it out there. But if you start attacking people, I don't care. I don't even care if it's politicians you attack. This isn't about who's doing what individually. This is about what's happening. Because some people are saying that the problem is Republicans, and some people are saying the problem is Democrats. All right, but I want to know: is the problem new crime or is the problem more crime? Because both Democrats and Republicans have been in office while crime has been going on like this. So that's my first thing. All right, I want you to ask. I won't ask that question, but we'll leave that out there. All right, and then let's see. The other one is the second one I want to know about. We got these different things going on in school. All right, it's like people say things like social emotional learning is a problem, critical race theory is an issue, the kids are suffering from a lot of trauma, high ACEs or adverse childhood, the ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, or there's mental health issues. Some people complain that Common Core cause a problem. Some people say there's overexposure to adult context, so forth and so on. Is it that, or is it just that people see change and they don't like the change that's happening? All right. Is it which one is it? Is it these things are actually happening and actually problems that people know what they're talking about, or is it that people just don't want to see things change? Because let's talk about let's say social emotional learning. Do kids know how to deal with all the different things that's being thrown at them every day? I mean, whether we like it or not, I can't parent your house, you can't parent my house, and so forth and so on. So you may not like how I parent, but you got to respect my right to parent. So now in the social setting, like a public school setting, you're going to come into your child's going to come into all different types of kids and situations, all different types of beliefs and backgrounds, because children are going to emulate what their parents and their home, how their home life is. If your home life is violent, and it may be a chance that you may be violent, or you may be really, that child may be really quiet and introverted to themselves, and they act off traumatic, or they're acting off trauma. All right, so there's a lot of different things that could be going on. But what's really happened, we know that children are exposed to a lot of different opinions, views, in situations, even with the use of their phone, even when they bring their phone out. All right. There's those issues that there's things that are getting come in contact with. Some kids are sitting back and they have unlimited access to porn. And you got little boys running around. They just started to, their hormones are just getting active, and they just started to think of these things. They got this thing called Pornhub. They sneaking around with all the time, or whatever the latest trend that they're using. They walk around with those things. All these things are affecting the growth in the social ability of children. So social emotional learning, is it really an issue that kids are learning and being made aware of all these different things that they're going to come in contact with, or is it an issue that you don't want your child to know it, so you don't think that anybody should be letting them know about what it is they're seeing? Each one of them could be dangerous. Each one could be dangerous. Myself, my opinion is irrelevant at this point right here. I just want to know: do you believe that the kids who are being exposed to a whole bunch of different things, and these things these kids are being exposed to is causing them a lot of confusion, and the schools have a place to say make sure that children understand each other, and that's basically what social emotional learning is supposed to be. All right. Or there's a critical race theory in the schools where they talk about laws and all that kind of stuff. That I haven't seen any. I don't know about that being in the school. I haven't ever seen it in the school, honestly. But I hear talk about people being students that study critical race theory, and then they're trying to interweave it in their curriculum, and it comes from places like when people are saying things like that some people are saying that white people are inherently racist, meaning that they've been born that way and there's nothing that they can do to not be racist. That's an opinion that some people take. All right, that's an opinion. I didn't create the opinion. You didn't create the opinion, but that's an opinion that's been around for a long time. The unfortunate side of it is that both sides, people who say it's not true and people who say it is true, they got data to support it. All right, there's a lot of data to support that America has had a lot of problems going on all over the world. That and it's not really America. They're saying that mostly the people argument is that they're saying white people are racist. All right, that's what they're saying. The part about critical race theory, that people are saying that white people are inherently racist. Now, again, my opinion doesn't matter. What matters here is I'm asking you the question. You put it in your chat. You can however you want to do it. Do you think that people should be teaching this type of history around to children in school? Should children know about this stuff, even though they're going to get the information, They're gonna, if they want to know about it, they're gonna find out. If they don't teach it in school, and they have groups outside school and things are going on outside of school, it's not connected to schools. It could be connected to church. It could be that connected to community centers. It could be connected to private organizations and all types of different things. If they're being exposed to it, and then they come to school, should the school be a place where they can say, okay, hold on, let us navigate through this stuff too, because these things are going on in our society. All right, critical race theory, that's an issue. Trauma informed care. Should some people have an issue with the phrase trauma? Say trauma isn't real. All right. Now, for those people who say trauma isn't real, their position is that if you sit back and look at man through a spiritual aspect, and a religious aspect, that there are certain things that has to happen. There's punishments, there's consequences, but God has given man the ability to weather any storm. So this idea that people are being acting off of something that happened to them a long time ago, because usually when people oppose trauma, the trauma informed care, they're not opposing the fact that trauma does affect people. They're opposing it when they say that there's a historical connection to trauma and people's behavior, and there's usually a specific people's behavior that they're talking about. Some group that's been classified as a minority. All right, it could be women, it could be children, but mostly the most popular one that's used is the racial aspect, when they're saying the trauma, the trauma that black folks experienced through coming out of slavery and throughout slavery. And usually when people oppose the trauma informed care, they're saying that, listen, we need to move on beyond that, because that didn't have that much of effect, and it shouldn't still be going on today, and people should be whining and crying about it. That's usually the position. So what's your position on it? Trauma informed care, do you know anything about it? Would you like to know anything about any of these types of things? Put those types of questions in the chat as you think of them. All right. And the other one I got here is mental health. Is mental health issues. Everybody says we need to worry about and focus on mental health. It's strange that the same people say we need to focus on mental health and say that trauma informed care should be an issue. But anyhow, mental health, is it as serious as we say it is? Is it growing? Is it getting out of control and big as we say it is? Or is it the fact that there's not enough workers in the mental health field to cover the client base that they have? So it has the appearance that things are getting worse because there's longer wait times. There's less places you can go to get mental health services done at now. And people are trying to get more funding to hire more people and get more people educated on mental health issues, so you don't have to worry about having the mental health breakdowns we see in society all the time. Is that more the issue, or is it that, yes, for some reason that's COVID, racial issues, tensions, unrest, social, all these things that's going on in society? Is it that we're saying that those issues that are happening are now causing more mental health issues? All right, that's a little bit. Just what's your thought? What's your thought? All right. And then there's Common Core. I know it's been around a long time now. We should be done got over this, but people still saying that Common Core is an issue in because they're changing the way kids are learning and the way teachers have to teach. And well, it could have been a problem. It could have been a problem, but shoot, back in the days, people saw get insurance and all that on cars is a problem also. But nonetheless, Common Core is an issue because what my understanding, one of the major components of Common Core wasn't the changing in the teaching style. It was the fact that you're going to have school districts across the area, no matter where they were all going to be teaching on the same level, or the same type of material. And if you needed to go to, if your child needed a more accelerated type of learning, they had different programming for that. But the basics education level will be the same. So in the same time, and everybody be doing the similar things. So if a child will move from this place to this place, he or she wouldn't have to worry about what goes on being behind in this school because over this school was way ahead, or being so advanced now they're uncomfortable in school because the school that they came from had so much going on. The school that they're in is really back a little bit. So is it Common Core, or is it the fact that people just don't want to have change? They don't want things to change. I don't know. You tell me. I'll see here. Now, here's the last one I want to ask you about: overexposure. Is the issue with schools and so forth and our young people that they're being overexposed, or is it that adults are doing too much for them, or giving them too much information? What I mean by overexposure first. Overexposure is young people are having more access to content, which is not good for their development personally or socially. I mean, things like they're watching more adult content, they're reading more adult book material, they're seeing more drug usages, there's a lot more violence, a lot more violence being exposed to them, so forth and so on. What do you think? What do you think it is? Is it overexposure, or is it just as simple as we shouldn't have given these dang things so fast? We shouldn't have gave 5-year-olds access to the World Wide Web. Is it they're getting overexposed? That people are talking too much to them? Teachers at schools giving too much? They're just too much things. Or is it that this thing right here shouldn't have been given to them at 5, 6, 7 years old? Did we mess up? All right. Or are we talking about children at all? Are we talking about what's going on with children, or are we talking about how we control the system? That we just not happy with the people who are running it. I don't know. It could be whatever. Now, here's my other question here. All right, this is the last of the questions that topic here. Freedom. Are we really free, or are we not free? Because it appears that this freedom of speech it only goes one way. All right, and it all depends on who's talking and what outlet promotes it. All right, if it's coming from, if you, we can almost 100% guarantee that anything liberal or Democrat or whatever you want to call it is going to come from a CNN style news outlet, and anything conservative or Republican like is going to come from a Fox News style outlet. And if you get on any one of those platforms, those places, and you speak opposite, holy crap, you're going to get slayed. So really, are we free or are we not free? Because do I have the freedom to express myself and say what I want to say and how and give my views, my opinions without being disrespectful to people, obviously. I don't think we have the right to assault each other and all that kind of stuff. But do we have the right to say what my feelings are, or do we not have the right to say it? Because sometimes you say how you feel, people will attack you. Well, oh my goodness, and they will attack you like it's unbelievable. Or again, has this thing gotten too big? I don't know. Sounds like I'm against the phone, but I'm not. I just think we should be more thoughtful on who we give the stuff to. Anyhow, I digress from that part. Are we free or are we not? All right. And the last thing I want to bring up, then I'm going to bounce because I got other stuff I want to do. I just want to be quick. I want to make sure we're giving something out every week here. All right. How do we change and how do we grow and advance with the fear of moving into something different? All right. How can we as a society, as a people, advance if I'll say it like this: how can Black people advance if we're afraid to work with white people? And at the same time, how can white people in society in the society that they control advance if they're afraid that there's going to be some uh, destruction caused by minority groups? How do we grow? How do we change when there's a lack of trust in each other? There's a lack of support, and the fact that each person needs to be heard, and we need to look at the facts of what was happening and the things that change. Like when they talk, I hear people talk about bail reform, and that's the problem for everything. Anything criminal is because of bail reform. I'm like, wait a minute. Some of these same things was happening before bail reform happened, but anyhow, um, everything we say is not about what the Democrats did, but everything that they, or what the Republicans did. Sometimes it's just things have been happening, and we're looking for somebody to blame. So how do we grow if we're not really trying to be open with in these situations and with what's happening? How does our society get better? How do we as a people get over some of the problems that we have if we can't figure out a way to work together without hating on each other, hating each other? Because the fact is, in any society, there's been some ups and there's been some downs. Unfortunately, in our society, it's been a whole lot more, and the world has grown a lot. So people really can sit back and say, you know what, I can point out your issues because there's been some real serious travesty that people don't want to admit to happening. All right, but that happens all over the globe. It's been happening. But where we're at in our society, how do we change? How do we grow? How do we make things different? If we can't get along, if we can't understand each other, if we're not willing to even talk to each other about our problems without arguing about it, how do we grow? How do we change? And then on top of that, how do our kids trust us? Right? How do our children trust us enough to where they can say, you know what, I'm going to do like my mom and my dad do, when they don't even agree with you themselves. It doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you're on. Your child may not agree with you. All right. I think I got a comment here. Let me look at my thing here. It's got a thing said, oh, hey, Peggy, I see. All right. So, seriously though, how do we make these changes? How is it crime? Is it new crime? Is it old crime? Is it crime rising, or is it just more crime? And if it's crime rising, okay, now we gotta look at why is it rising. And if it's more crime, then we gotta look, okay, well then why are we saying it's happening now because of this leader or that party? It's got to be a situation, it's something that we've been overlooking for a long time that's causing this. All right. So let's just check it out. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Are we free or are we not free? Because if we're free, man, listen, um, and let me say this here. Let me qualify something, right? I'm not an idiot here, okay? I don't think that free means I can do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do, however I want to do. I don't believe that nonsense right there. But I do believe that freedom, that freedom there has to be boundaries. I believe there has to be boundaries, and those boundaries, that's where our freedom lives at. You must be able to maneuver freely and without interruption by anybody or in any government entity or whatever, or freely within those constructions that the laws have put out there. So if the law says that I could, like, for example, now look at this is a hot topic right here, a big issue that people have been seeing. People filming police officers doing their work. If the law says I can do it, why is it such a problem? Because they're enforcing the laws. And one of the laws that they should be enforcing is allowing people to film them. All right. But that law can't be followed because they're interfering, even though they're not interfering, they're just recording. They're not over there tick touching, they're not pulling, they're not kicking, they're just standing back recording. And then you get people, and you see videos all the time, every day. If you ain't seen none, just browse your browser. Soon you're gonna see one that where somebody is filming police and they stand there and they're blocking them. And this isn't an attack on police and nothing like this. This is just saying this is a fact that happens. All right. Are we free or are we not free? Because you would think if we're free to act within the confines of the rules and the laws, when you do that, people wouldn't that are supposed to uphold them, or people wouldn't be so angry with you or want to fight with you when you act out the within what you can do within the law. If my child has the right to learn about some atrocities that happened to black people by white people in America, it's a fact. Why do you want my child, the school, not to teach my children about these things? But you would teach your children, you want my child to learn about the atrocities of Hitler to a whole nother people. But he can't learn about the atrocities that happened to him. I don't know. That seems a little weird to me, that my children can learn about atrocities done all over the world, but they can't learn about the ones that happened here. We got to celebrate the people who did things. And I always go back to this because I want to go back to and lean heavy on the side of making sure that we compare, out of all the areas we can compare, I want to make sure we can compare the issues of black folks to everybody else. I'm going to distinguish that because that's what's important to me. That's what affects me more than anything else. I understand, I identify with the plight of maybe the Jewish people, or maybe the Italian peoples, or the whoever else has been wronged by their government or their society. I can sympathize with them, but I have to focus on what affects me most. What affects me most is what the race relationships between black folks and everybody else. All right, because that's where I live at. It's obvious why. All right, so with that being said, y'all, thanks for hanging out with me today. If y'all didn't see my new show coming out, man, listen, dude, I got some brothers way. Go back up. I got it. I got it. It's on my timeline. It's on YouTube. Check it out, man. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check out. Check out Corner Talk, y'all. We just had a heck of a first introduction, and mind you, now when you go back and you watch it, it's an introduction. We just said this is where we're going. Now we're going to take each one, all those things that we talked about Wednesday. It's going to be different topics, different themes. So, and we're going to have the same people on there. We're going to have some guests on there. I'm talking to all types of different people that want to be involved. And if you want to be involved, and any of this stuff that I'm doing, if you want to be involved, if you want to get on this show, you got some things you want to say, shoot me a message. I got no problem. I can put up to I think I can put up to 10 people on the screen at one time. I have no problem with that. I got no problem, but you got to let me know. We got to chit chat first. So if you got something you want to say, I was talking to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, and I haven't forgot about it. I'm gonna get together with you, and I'm gonna talk to some business people and people in the community that's just doing some things, and I want to get them an opportunity to come on and talk about what they're doing and what they've been through, and even if you got a little business that you got going on, I want you to come on. I want you to tell the people who you are, what your business is, how you got it going, and so forth and so on. All right, hit me up, shoot me an inbox, put a comment on the post or whatever it is. You can get hold to me. However it is, check me out and let me know if you want to get on. I got no problem with that. I got no problem. I'll bring you on our Wednesday night show. Man, the Corner Talk. It's gonna be real. It's gonna get realer and realer and realer. I got some heavy hitters. I got my good friend from a long time ago, Jeff. A lot of people know him as by a different name, Flav. We from the town in Rochester. A lot of people know him. He bringing a street feel and keeping it official, because what I want to make sure what we do is when we talk about what's going on in the streets and in our communities, especially when we talk about what's going on in violence in the cities and all that kind of stuff. I want to make sure that we got people from the streets who's out there or have been out there or who's connected to that area, to speak up and say, listen, hold on, time out. This is why this is happening, and this is what's going on over here. Not particularly about the incidents themselves, but why is this mindset going on? Because I'm not going to get up and talk about any particular incident. But what I'm going to talk about is why is this mindset happening? Why do we see this happening? Children, our young kids are shooting each other. What is happening? Why is that happening? Where are they getting the guns from? Yeah, we know all this kind of stuff. We're not gonna talk about particulars, but we're gonna say, oh, listen, this is how easy it is. All right, I got my man Awesome Johnson. He great brother, man. I've been knowing for quite a while, and he has a thing that he's doing. He gets up in the morning with a few brothers in Rochester, and they go to a store and they greet people that's coming in, elderly and whoever, and they make sure that the community feel like, yo, somebody out here watching out for us and looking out, who are from where we're from. And then we got my good brother, some of y'all may know him as Anthony Bottom, Jalil Mutakin. He did 49 years in prison. All right, and he was a Black Panther BLA member. He had a lot of controversy surrounding him because of the nature of his crime. But I'm a believer that if we do our time, this goes back to my question: are we free or are we not? Because our government says, our Constitution and everything says that you have to. If you do commit a crime you've been legally sent through the system, then they can enslave you and all that kind of stuff. But it has also within the same structure, it has a way for you to get back out. And it has a way for you to be what they say, pay your debt to society. But when people pay their debts to society and you don't agree with the what they did, or what you don't understand, or you don't think it's a good thing, you automatically get upset with the system because they can come back out. Are we free or are we not? Why does it? If it doesn't go your way, then you got the right to protest, complain, and so forth and so on. But then if something doesn't go somebody else's way, they shouldn't complain, they shouldn't protest, they shouldn't do nothing. I don't. Yeah. Anyhow, um, again, that's what we got. I got going on. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm working on some projects with to get some young people to travel. I want to expose some kids to some more stuff in Albany. I want to take some kids meet to some different college trips so they can see different things going on. But I may need help getting some funds together for transportation and all that kind of stuff. So you can help me out. Again, I'll put I'll put a cash app that I created down there. It's $ IMNBKWCNY. All right. Hit me up. Listen, uh, thank y'all for listening in to my ramble today. Uh, let's keep working. Let's get together. If you got ideas, if you doing this is one thing that I want to make sure that y'all hear me on here. All right. If you have an idea, and you want to help and put something out there in our community, help our young people. I don't have a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not in the position where I can say, okay, I can fund this, I can fund that, because I can't do none of that. But what I can do is help you put it together, and we got a platform where I can go to people, and we may be able to get something going here. All right, hit me up. You got ideas? We can figure out. But I'm gonna tell you, the biggest barrier that we have to getting things done is the fact that we have a bunch of bull jive going on already that we're doing. Don't be all smoked out, drunked up, and crazy and all that kind of stuff. Coming talking about, yo, I want to go into school. You know that's not finna happen. All right, I'm talking about. There's ways we can help and we can talk about it. There's ways we can get your stuff going. We can talk about it. I can help you. Let's say you got a business that you're trying to get going. Maybe we can come on and we can talk about it, or we can help each other out somehow on that. But let me know. I'm out the mountains. I got things I got to get going on here. But before I go, like I always do, I want y'all to take a moment and pay attention to this thing here, right? Because I'm connected with a lot of people, a lot of organizations, a lot of groups, and I don't want anybody confused what I'm doing as part of them. Because Wayne MBK, although it says Wayne and it is not connected to anybody other than me. All right, understand that. So pay attention to this thing right here. All right, look at that. Check it out. Read it. I'm gonna leave it up here for a second for you to read it. All right, check it out. I'll be in Wednesday night doing our thing at the corner, y'all. Peace.